This episode of My So-Called Podcast, we are going back to the week of June 21st, 1991.
That's right, Gary. That's when Siouxsie and the Banshees released their superstitious effort, Superstition, and Joe Johnston unleashed the Rocketeer upon an unsuspecting populace.
Like the past. The movie never changes. It can't change, but every time you see it, it seems different because you were different. You see different things.
Welcome to My So-Called Podcast. I am Gary Linton.
And I am Eric Spiegel.
And this is My So-Called Podcast, like I just said. This is a podcast where we go back to a week in the 90s and we look at an album and a movie that were released. But to be honest with you, listener, we're cheating a little bit. We're getting a little sloppy.
No. Just say we're going back to a fortnight in the 90s.
A fortnight in the 90s, that's right. Because The Rocketeer was released June 21st, 1991, and Superstition.
There's one thing that I know.
Yep.
Sorry. The Rocketeer was released June 21st, 1991. Go ahead.
Superstition came out June 9th, 2021. I guess I just want to make sure people aren't, blowing up my blue sky to say like, oh, that wasn't, that's not in the same week.
That's true. I mean, I'm
Get
sure
that weak sauce
but
out of
people
here.
are going to be blowing up your blue sky about something.
Yes, that's true. True that. Oh, do you think they're going to blow up my blue sky because I said true that?
Yeah, probably. Yep. I mean, you got a whole episode to let them figure out what they're going to blow up your blue sky about. But I was wondering if maybe since we are doing these two things within a fortnight, maybe like Gen Z will be into this episode since they love Fortnite.
They love Fortnite. As long as we keep saying the words Fortnite, we'll get that, that algorithm will push us up.
Yeah, you get that Fortnite bump.
That's right.
You just talk about a 2-week amount of time.
That's right.
Or a night where you're building a fort, I guess?
It's
not always night in Fortnite, so why is it called Fortnite?
Because
it doesn't take 2 weeks.
It originally did. It took 2 weeks for them to develop.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's amazing. Honestly, you buried the lead on Fortnite.
Well, yeah.
That seems like a pretty complicated game.
Well, no, it's not. So
it really is sort of the culmination of the online first-person shooter era. I mean, it's a third-person shooter, but like where it's like, okay, now we're all in the same place, and the last one to be alive, we're shooting at each other. I mean, like so many video games are like you're here and you're shooting at stuff, and this is we're all here and we're shooting at each other, and it's real.
Yeah,
and one of us will be alive at the end. Like you really can't beat that.
Yep.
For a concept area, but anyway,
that's why it's a huge
in honor of Fortnite, and we are doing this within the Fortnite. Of 1991.
That's right.
And Gary and I are both characters in the new season of Fortnite, so save up your V-Bucks because you can be a middle-aged psychiatrist, I think, in the new one.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
Right. Or you could be Gary with his magical headphones, right. Which allow you to climb trees, knock people out, all kinds of things.
It's great. It's like my headphones are like a lasso of truth to make you tell the truth.
It's very Wonder Woman.
Yes. Yep.
Has there ever been a bigger drop in quality since the year 2000 from Wonder Woman to Wonder Woman 2?
No, I don't.
Such an upsetting drop in quality for
really
all of us.
was.
We were all like, we were on board with Wonder Woman.
Yep. Yeah. And it was quite a disappointment. Has there ever been a bigger? No, I don't think so.
No. I mean, like, and it was sort of like, it went along with, we all like Gal Gadot there at the beginning of that Wonder Woman 1. We were like, we love you. She's
great. She's doing it.
And she was like, thank you. Imagine all people.
I don't want
that wasn't not the worst thing she's ever done.
No.
Anyway, the worst thing she's ever done is her acting in Justice.
Whoa. Ouch. That's got a hoit. Take that, Gail.
Yeah, I'm sure she's an avid listener.
She's crying.
She listens to this while she
She's gonna have to get a new iPhone because they're not, waterproof, and her tears are voiding the warranty.
Right, and I'm collecting her liberal tears to drink out of my mug.
No, I'm just saying, so she's crying on her iPhone because we're being so mean to her. So
yeah, sorry, Gadot. Anyway, so we're gonna take you back to 1991.
That's right.
Whether you want us to or not. Because that's what we do. It's a time machine.
That's right.
You are in a car because you're in the Midwest, or you're in a subway train if you're in a larger city on the coast, and you're on your way to pick up a CD. What are you going to pick up? The post-punk, post-pop, emerging gothic band from 1978? Siouxsie and the Banshess, Superstition? Or are you headed to the movie theater to watch The Rocketeer starring your favorite actor, Paul Sorvino? And either of those could happen, or both on the same night. Gary, do you remember anything about the summer of 1991 when you were 13? I will say, being 13, 14, and 15 might be the weirdest times to have a summer. Because because you usually can't have a job.
Nope.
And what are you supposed to do? You're not just playing with your toys all day long.
No.
Your older siblings might have a job, which is insult to injury. They definitely are going to see A League of Their Own without me.
Yeah, well, I still think you need to process that. I don't think you gotta get through that.
In that last sentence, I said me. I meant you. It's a vague.
I remember
but it's hard to be a middle schooler in the summertime, and I was in 1991.
Right.
Do you remember that summer?
I'm trying to think. That would have still. So the summer we used to be like just every day we would go play wiffle ball in a neighbor's backyard.
Who's we?
The neighborhood kids. It was a bunch of us.
How many?
Oh, I mean, we had a good probably 5-on-5 team,
Did you have a time that you started?
Yeah, we usually went out like around 10 and we just play,
That's the best.
It was the best. It really was the best.
Were you always 5-on-5 teams?
We kind of...
Like the same teams? Or did you
No,
choose
we would switch it up and we would play different positions and stuff like that, and it was always
different
fun.
Pitchers.
Different pitchers, that's right.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, was that later? Were we still doing it in 91? If we were 13, I don't think we were. Probably. That's probably a lie, because the kid whose backyard, he was like 2 years older than me, so he was at 15. I doubt we were still playing it at that time. So I think I lied to you, Eric.
Was it like there was one ringleader?
Well, it was his backyard, so it was kind of like we were always just waiting. We would wait for him. And I think there were a couple of times where they went on vacation, and so they were gone, and we were like, well, we're going to sneak into their backyard anyway and still play.
Right. He made it a public space.
Yeah. And I think the thing was, another color is, suburban dads would be like, because there were paths, there were dirt. The backyard had dirt, first base was a dirt thing, and there were paths worn out. And suburban dads were like, you're not going to ruin my yard. But, it was just him and his mom. And I think his mom was like, I don't care. Go have fun, boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have never cared about my lawn that much.
I don't either, no. But I know.
Yeah, I never fell into the really wanting my lawn to be good. The only way I got into that at all was when I was living in Utah and it never rained. And so they would have like incentives on your water bill or something to rip out your lawn and replace it with something like local drought tolerant plants and mulch and whatnot. And that had a double effect of less mowing that I enjoyed.
Yeah, right.
Watering the grass, which I really didn't like.
Oh, right. Yeah, grass is really bad for the environment.
It's dumb.
Yep.
I mean, in Missouri, I literally can have a lawn that grows back every year that I never water, if I'm okay with some clover.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I don't put chemicals on it, and I don't water it here. There, if you didn't water it, it would die.
Oh, right.
Die dead.
Yeah,
So,
my neighbor, I don't know, like we had all that rain, and then like the very next day he's out watering his lawn, and I was like, seriously, I don't think you need to water your lawn after we had all this rain.
well, and the thing is we're weird creatures, so we want to have stuff we do to feel productive every day.
Yeah, I guess so.
And he didn't realize, like, I'm pretty counterproductive, bro.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
maybe do anything else.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But that's
There's a public
that's
service announcement that I saw recently, and it's Patton Oswalt, and he's talking about how he's doing his part for the economy by staying home, playing video games, and eating sun chips. And he's like inviting all of the ICE workers, the ICE, the new ICE employees, whose backs must hurt, and they must be tired from walking around and everything. And he's
That's
like,
right.
you want to serve your country, you be like me. I know you think it'd be fun to wear body armor and walk around in 90-degree heat, harass people, and everyone hates you. But what you could do to help your country is just go back home and play video games, like me, Patton Oswalt from Ratatouille.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
So
what were you doing in
1991?
1991?
I had a really interesting. This is burgeoning Entertainment Weekly fan, Eric Spiegel, at this time, who is like so excited for summer movie season.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially, like, because that means we're out of the doldrums of movies that no one thinks are good enough to release in May or later.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it's like, okay, studios are doing it. They're gonna make a run for it. The big bucks. And so you get all this tentpole wannabe stuff come out. And back then, it was a real crapshoot, because it'd be, Billy Zane's The Phantom, one year, and then Billy Zane's Titanic a different year.
I don't know.
No, go back and watch the DVD. If that's what it's actually called.
Okay.
Anyway, I was very excited, and had those summer movie previews,
Mm-hmm.
They would be a double issue.
Yeah, right.
So it would explain essentially every movie from May to August that was going to come out, and it'd be like, what's the industry buzz about? So like, the further out from the episode or from the issue, the more interesting it was, actually, because it was like Buffy the Vampire Slayer was supposed to come out, I think, that August, and it was like everybody was like, this is going to be the big hit of the late summer, et cetera, because everybody knew it was really good. They had seen it, or a version of it or whatever, and they knew it was really good, but it wasn't a hit.
No, R.I.P.
It was
Paul
good,
Reubens.
but it wasn't a hit. It's an interesting thing. Anyway, so I was excited. I was very excited for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh, yeah.
I was a big Costner head. I like The Untouchables. I like Dances with Wolves. I like Field of Dreams, you know.
Bull Durham.
I hadn't seen No Way Out yet, but I'm sure I would have been, turned on.
At 13, you were watching Bull Durham, being like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was practicing talking to an oversexed minor league baseball fan.
That's right.
In the middle of summer.
You were looking in the mirror, practicing the I believe in speech.
No, it was more like whenever Elliot Ness gets mad and push that guy off a roof.
That guy, he has a name, Frank Neely?
Nitty.
Frank Nitty. Yep.
Nitty.
Yep.
Yeah. He always reminded me of Ed from Northern Exposure, but it's not the same actor.
No, it's not. No.
Oh, Brian De Palma, thank you so much for The Untouchables.
Yes.
Anyway, I was very excited about Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and then my mom caught wind of some of the PG-13-ness of it. And there's some, like...
But you were 13?
I don't know. She didn't think it would be appropriate for me to go see this movie.
Oh, wait.
At that age. As a 13-year-old, and it was PG-13. In any
Mom,
case...
it's on the exact appropriate age.
In any case, I searched for other things to be excited about, and I was really into the poster for The Rocketeer.
Well, yeah, it's a good poster.
Which was a really good Art Deco sort of evocation of a movie that maybe didn't actually get made in product, but it's a great poster. And so I was really into that. And it was PG, not PG-13, so my mom could say shit.
F you, Mom. I'm going to see it.
I'm going to see this child Disney movie. Anyway, so I actually remember this stuff. And also, obviously, I was really into Siouxsie and the Banshees.
Obviously. Well, I think that is a nice segue to get into talking about Siouxsie and the Banshees. Before we start talking about Siouxsie and the Banshees, series, I will go ahead and tell you the songs that were playing on the radio that week when this album was out to kind of get your mind right.
Right, because back in the day, it was like all radio. It was all listen to the radio.
Yeah.
So if you listen to Top 40 radio, they're only going to play 40 songs, and they're going to play 10 of them more than the other one.
Right. So, number 10, Right Here, Right Now by Jesus Jones. I believe the song Your Wife Hates.
Yeah. I can never remember if I always hated that or if I heard it too many times. It's sort of the Blowfish conundrum.
I did not always hate it. I actually had that cassette tape of Jesus Jones. I bought that one.
Yeah. I think if that song had been a lot less popular, people would still like it.
Yep. Number 9, I Don't Want to Cry by Mimi, Mariah Carey herself. I Don't Want to Cry.
I don't even... This is early Mariah, right?
Well, yeah, 91.
Is that the first album?
Maybe.
Or is she from the 80s? I think it's from the first album. The album's called Mariah Carey, and you see the graphic. It's very young Mimi.
Yeah, I know this song though. I didn't know it was that name, but I know this.
Sounds
song.
like it's going to feature Mark Anthony and Santana.
Ooh. Quite a combo. Number 8 is...
You know that song?
I think I do remember that. At least that guitar part, yeah.
It just sounds like the Don Juan DeMarco song by Bryan Adams.
Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking of.
To really love a woman.
That's right. Number 8, Strike It Up by Black Box.
What?
I know. Those words make sense independently, but together, they're utter nonsense.
Okay, don't say number 7 before we hear Strike It Up by Black Box. Oh, well, we definitely know this song.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I think this song is known as Jock Jams now.
I think so, you're right.
Strike it up!
That's right.
Right? That's what she says. Strike it up!
Number 7.
No. This has become the Black Box Podcast.
Okay.
Welcome to the Black Box Cast. I'm your host, Eric Spiegel.
And I'm Gary Linton.
And this is Black Box Cast.
This is, we take a look back at, every week we look at a song by Black Box.
It's just this song. That's all we talk about.
That's right.
Yeah! Okay, well, let's get back to my so-called podcast. I love
Great
it.
app.
That was a good one.
Number 7, Power of Love by Luther Vandross.
So that's just a tip of the hat to the old Ackerman.
That's right. Yes, we were definitely doing a...
You talking you to me, folks. Obviously, we know we're ripping it off.
Yes.
It's a parody.
Well, an homage.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Did you hear
De
number...
Palma to Hitchcock.
That's
We're
right.
De Palma, they're Hitchcock.
Exactly.
I'm Kevin Costner throwing somebody off a building.
And
they're sexually harassing Tippy Head.
That sounds good.
Moving on.
Number 7, did you hear that? Power of Love by Luther Vandross. So,
wait, there's a Power of Love by Celine Dion, and there's a Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah.
And these are all within a few years of each other.
That's right.
You're telling me that Luther Vandross also had a Power of Love?
I am telling you that, yes.
Do you think it's about Marty McFly?
No, I do not.
Do you think it's about Celine Dion?
I do. Yes, that I do.
That'd be weird if she wrote her song Power of Love about Luther Vandross, and then he wrote his song Power of Love about Celine Dion.
That, I don't know. I don't think that'd be so weird.
I mean, it'd be a good double album.
That's true.
Oh, it's got a beat now. So this was the number 7 song in the country in 1991.
That's right. And this, actually, you playing this actually does put people into a Siouxsie and the Banshee Superstition, kind of. Because that's the production that was happening.
Yeah. It's like they're trying to lull us to sleep, like en masse.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, number 6. Unbelievable. Oh.
Yeah.
By EMF.
So why did that break through the noise? Because the noise was so thin.
Yep.
I mean, Unbelievable is way better than that Luther Vandross
Yes.
song.
Number 5.
Did you own Schubert Dip?
I did not own Schubert Dip. No.
Okay. My cousin Chris had it on audio cassette, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder what those other songs sound like. I never found out.
Yeah. Oh, he only played Unbelievable.
No, I never had it. So I had it recorded off the radio, and I mean, it wasn't like I turned 27 and Napster came out, and I was like, what was on Schubert?
Yes, right.
Going on, number 5.
Number 5 is Love is a Wonderful Thing by Michael Bolton.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Losing
Not my favorite kind of music, but seems like a cool, chill dude that's self-effacing.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with him. He
No.
seems like a nice person.
That's right. Number 4 is
Not my favorite
Losing
kind of music.
My Religion by R.E.M.
Oh, man. I have a lot to say about that band. They're great, and crazy that they're in the mix of this top 10.
That's right.
It's a weird top 10.
It is a
for
weird top 10.
One of the greatest
And
American
it
bands
just
of all
gets
time to have
weirder.
a song in.
Because number 3 is More Than Words by Extreme.
AKA the first song that anybody plays as a freshman on a guitar in around a group of people, and will always be that song.
Yep.
I don't know. Nowadays, maybe people play like James Blunt or John Mayer or something.
Or something. I don't know.
What if you're in a dorm and you're like a freshman and a guy gets an acoustic guitar and he starts to strum, like what does happen? Is it more than words still?
I think it is still more than words. Yes.
Because it's like Come Back Around Again is ironic,
Yep.
which it always kind of was.
That's
or
right.
or Every Rose Has Its Thorn. I mean, I can do one or the other, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, that's good call. Hopefully it's Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
I mean, more than words. If you got a brother to sing harmony, that's entertaining.
That's right. You need to have a brother to sing harmony, though.
I mean, ask Nelson.
I'm not going to ask Nelson.
But Nelson, where are they now?
I think they're still around. Gunner. Number 2 is I Want to Sex You Up by Color Me Bad.
I mean, that was a ubiquitous pop song in that era. It was just around. It's like your parents just had to deal with the fact there was a song called I Want to Sex You Up because you could not avoid it.
That's right.
It was like as if Whitney Houston had recorded a song called I Want to Sex You Up at the Bodyguard soundtrack.
That's right.
There's nothing you could do about
That's
it.
right.
Anyway, and it's a pretty good jam, honestly. For Color Me Bad, it's a pretty good song.
Yeah.
The TikTok You Don't Stop, that's good stuff.
Good stuff. Number 1 is Rush Rush by Paula Abdul.
Shit, nice. This is the second album, first single.
Yes.
Right? This is the Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
Is in the video, and it's like 1950s drag racing kind of a deal.
It's Rebel Without a Cause.
Okay, so
yeah.
yes and yes.
Yes.
I mean, the people that understand that the first Paula Abdul album had like 6 top 10 hits off of it, or 7, and like it went on. Back then they would space the singles out, so it went on for like 2 years that she always had a top 10 single essentially. So when she was coming out with her second album, it was supposed to be a big deal, you know. Everybody was very excited, and Rush Rush was a hit, but it wasn't any Opposites Attract or
Straight Up Now Tell Me
or Cold Hearted Snake.
Oh, that's right, that was the big one,
right?
Yes.
And that's just the ones we can there's a few other hits off that. Anyway, Rush Rush was a hit, and then there was another one that was like, I don't know, Tropical something or another on the second album. I can't remember what that one was called. She was like in a waterfall, I think. Right.
But yeah, so she was able to.
And then no other hits, and then I don't even know if there was a third album. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, and then
I know she showed up again on American Idol or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I don't know either.
That'd be an interesting podcast. What happened to Paula Abdul between 1992 and 2010?
But it might be like that Richard Simmons one, and she would be like, "Just leave me alone. I don't want to be." 5-2. So.
Oh, the Cardinals are losing 5-2.
That's right.
What inning is it?
Third.
Oh, well,
it's a lot of
we got a
baseball
lot of
left.
comeback oomph. We just got to hold them at 5, I guess.
Let's hope so.
We got a lot of pop, baby. Did you see those 2-run dingers yesterday?
Yeah.
What,
So-
4? We got
Well,
4 of
okay,
those?
okay. I just sorry I brought it up. So
For the audience, we're not talking about any specific sporting team. We're just doing really cool improv.
that's right.
Just apply this to whatever sport you want.
Exactly.
And then you just have to think dingers or something else, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, Paul Abdul, who knows? In your estimation, she lived with Richard Simmons for a while.
That's
in your
right.
podcast, I think. if
I
I'm
think so.
recounting.
Yep.
So we're moving on then.
Yeah.
right?
It's time to discuss Superstition by the British band Siouxsie and the Banshees.
Okay, I'm going to call an audible here, Gary.
Okay.
And I feel like this is so succinctly put that I'm just going to read the beginning
You're
of
not going to just
Wikipedia
read
about Siouxsie and
Wikipedia.
the Banshees because I think it introduces me to a lot of concept about the band that I didn't already know, and I feel like that means our audience isn't familiar with some of these basics. So, fast forward 30, 60 seconds if you want to hear this. But Siouxsie and the Banshees were a British rock group formed in London 76 by Siouxsie Sue, spelled in the way that you would imagine, and bass guitarist Stephen Severin. Post-punk pioneers. So
It's not in the
post-punk
way that you would imagine, though. Siouxsie spells it a different way.
Oh, yeah, but so Sue is spelled the way I would expect it to be since I know how she spells Susie. It's like
Yes.
the Sioux Indians.
Right.
Anyway, Native American.
Yes.
Indigenous tribe of Sioux, independent
But
nation.
go on. Okay, go on.
I don't know how to go further. I'm sorry. They were wildly influential both over their contemporaries and later acts. The Times called the group one of the most audacious and uncompromising musical adventures of the post-punk era. So their first album comes out in 1978. It's called The Scream, and it's called a form of post-punk discord full of daring, rhythmic, and sonic experimentation. So that's not the album we listened to. Interestingly enough, neither was the next album. They changed their musical direction to alternative pop groups, sort of the 1980s. So they were like post-punk, and then they were really aiming for more pop stuff. But their third album came out in 1980. At this point, throughout the 80s, they were sort of had a big influence on like the gothic scene, and it had to do with like the way they looked and the music sound, etc., etc. But in any way, they only achieved mainstream hit in the United States in 91 with the pop single "Kiss Them For Me," which is on this album. So I feel like, okay, that might have been a little long-winded, and it isn't even a good summary of. I didn't even say that like there's Sex Pistols in the band, which it's complicated, right? Like
Yeah,
one movie,
Right.
Glenn Ross.
Good. You pulled it out. Good call.
No, I was thinking of It's Complicated. Anyway, so it's really, really a complicated story, but they really are like hard to pigeonhole as a band because of the amount of time. And it's so wild to think of like having your first big hit on your 13th year of being a band. Also, 13th year of me being me. Siouxsie and the Banshees are as old as we are. And so the band was doing its thing for the entire 80s before they had a hit in the 90s, even though they started in the 70s.
Yeah, but they were, in Britain, they had stuff before.
Okay,
So-
tided them over.
Yep.
They were like Blur in that way.
Yes.
But anyway, I guess my either or question for you, Gary, is knowing what, I don't even know how much you know about this band, but like either you can understand why they broke through in the US with this album, or you think they were always quality, but like it wasn't this album, it was just like everybody catch up, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah,
So
that makes
either
sense.
it's the album or the zeitgeist needed to catch up with an advanced species.
I think they probably, so the production on Superstition is a little more poppier, and yeah, it is not, although they had another song called, Peekaboo, and it also kind of sounds, and that was from 1988, Peekaboo. I'm not doing it justice. No, abort.
Wait, you didn't give yourself time to do it justice.
No,
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
need,
have
like
that.
a 30-second stretch of
Exactly.
peekaboo.
I
'Cause
didn't have
I don't know.
I did not have the melody, so it was like, oh, I don't have it. It's not there. So
Oh, yeah. That's like whenever I tried to sing Against All Odds at Telania's. Rest in peace, by the way.
Yep.
Mike Telania's has been demolished.
yes, it has. Yep.
But I tried to sing that there, and
that's
the whole table
karaoke.
of friends I was with we're doing a lot of neck cutting motions. And this is like the first line.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Peekaboo.
From 1988. Say, so this was a song.
Just let it jive. This isn't the hook, is it?
No, I mean, it makes sense to start singing. So,
Jump ahead some.
yeah. But, so that was
This
a
seems
minor
more
hit.
experimental to me.
Yeah. And I think I heard this one being played on MTV actually back in the day is probably where I heard it. I knew that song. Yeah.
Did it have an interesting video?
I don't actually remember the video, so
I mean, that's the thing that's totally lacking for me
Probably
in my
not.
cultural knowledge of this band is didn't watch enough videos. Back in the day, being a film fan, that's what I felt most deprived of not having cable, because some of the short films for videos were pretty cool.
yes, yeah.
And I would imagine it seems like this band would have like at least be trying.
Yeah. I
cool
don't
videos.
remember the video, so I don't know. But so I think that it was basically people catching up to Siouxsie and the Banshees.
So you feel like the quality was there all along. It's just
Yep.
like we just needed to pay attention.
Yeah,
We never
what did you
had.
think of this album, Eric?
I mean, it's a solid first and second listen. Obviously, I know.
You knew "Kiss Them for Me" before?
Obviously,
Yeah, it was a big
I've
hit.
heard
It was such
that
a hit.
before. I would say I think it makes its appearance in movies and soundtracks, TV shows, and maybe even commercials.
Maybe,
But it was also, it was, I would say 105.7 The Point had it on from when it was first incepted and on through probably still to this day.
Yeah.
Like it fit with grunge rock in a way. It wasn't treated as like dance music.
No, I just do want to say that the Superstition remastered and expanded version consists of 2 remixes of "Kiss Them for Me." That's what the expanded version is.
Yeah, it's the Snapper mix and the Kathak #1 mix if
Yep.
you're interested.
Yeah. But
If you-
the Snapper
if you're
mix,
nasty.
the Snapper mix featuring Talvin Singe
Yeah, it's got Talvin Singe.
of
The Kathak #1 mix, no features.
yeah, but you know who Talvin Singe is from, right?
Nope, I don't.
Corner Shop.
The Corner Shop. Oh, okay. Yeah, I
And-
like him.
And Corner Shop has the distinction of being the only album we've done twice on my so-called podcast.
Yeah, it's it's like when my when my mother-in-law buys a DVD or a Blu-ray of something she already has 1 or 2 of.
That's right.
Because it's like a good deal.
We
That's
never,
us reviewing Corner Shop. Honestly, to be honest, we probably did it a few years apart.
We did.
We were different people.
Yeah.
People want to know what we think of Corner Shop every few years, Gary. We should actually re-review it. It's been a
Yes,
while
it
since
has
we've
been,
reviewed
yes.
Corner Shop.
So we can talk about when I was born for the 7th time, a 3rd time.
Right. Wow. We at least need to do it 7 times.
I would think so. Yes.
And then, all will be good in the universe. We'll all have a big brim full of Asha. Although that was, 96? So that's 5 years after this Superstition album. So
Yeah.
he must have been something back then.
he
which
was,
is
yeah.
interesting.
Corner Shop was in before, so.
So, are we supposed to talk about this album more?
Yeah.
We should. So that's what I knew so far, and you're saying we just caught up, which means, Gary, when did you first hear of Siouxsie and the Banshees?
Oh, you know what? Maybe I am wrong. I first heard of Siouxsie and the Banshees. Like I said, I heard Peekaboo, and then I did know Superstition, so it was probably about them. Talvin Singe is actually not from Corner Shop. I might have been.
Okay. We're getting real-time updates.
Yep.
But it's still okay for us to have a excuse to talk about the Corner Shop episodes.
Yes, right.
And the fans want another
his
Corner
name,
Shop
then? I
episode.
gotta
They
look
actually do. I think a couple of the McElroy brothers and somebody else, they watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 every Christmas or something.
So I
and
just
do a
do want to
podcast
say,
about
I
it.
just just need to apologize because I think the name, because in Corner Shop is Tejinder Singe, not Talvin Singe. So, I mean, I wasn't far off, but I was mixing up my names a little bit. So,
well, you did some research, and now you know the difference.
yes.
And this, we are doing real-time footnotes and editors' comments.
Yeah, yep.
And now we're moving along back to the album at hand.
Yeah, so I think, Kiss Them For Me is a good one. I like the other single was Shadow Time. I thought that was a good one.
The Face to Face, there's a remake of that on the X-Files movie soundtrack, and I always like that a lot.
Who does the remake? Sorry.
I want to say maybe The Cure, but I'm looking at it.
Oh, that would be awesome because they came out together. They were hanging out in London back in '78.
Fight the Future.
Siouxsie Sue and Robert Smith. So
now this list doesn't have it. So sorry.
That's okay.
But there is a remake of Face to Face on. Anyway, I knew a remake of it. I didn't know. I'll look it up. I'll figure out what it was that I knew. But I was familiar with the remake of it. So to hear the.
Did you know it was a remake, or were you surprised when you listened to it, where you're like, oh, this is what that's from?
Right. Like I don't know Siouxsie and the Banshees and very in depth. Like I kind of know of them.
Yeah.
But I would have been screwed if it was like a trivia night where 10 questions were about Siouxsie and the Banshees. Like
I would
have gotten 0 questions right.
My college roommate / high school friend. We were friends in high school, then we became college roommates. He had a little poster of this album that was hanging in our dorm room freshman year. A little bit.
It's like a pink wall. She's standing against it, but she has a really bright, like she's the sun or flames or something kind of a dress on. But she's black and white, but then she, like the dress sort of spills into kind of a flame or something else on the ground.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So it says here, Face to Face was written by Siouxsie, the band, and Danny Elfman, and was featured in the 1992 film Batman Returns, and is included on its soundtrack.
That's what it is!
Yes.
That's what it is. It's the song that plays when Batman and Michelle Pfeiffer, so
at the dance.
Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer dance
at
the Christmas ball, and they kind of know who each other are, but it just makes Selena Kyle sad and she cries about it. It's a good scene. But yeah, that song wasn't popular. It wasn't as popular as Bat Dance, you know?
No, it was not. No. So that's it.
I will say, for what it's worth, the Siouxsie and the Banshees Spotify, you know how they do the popular based on plays? The number 1 through 7 are not from this album, because Kiss Them For Me is number 8. And number 1 through 7 has one album featured twice, and all the other songs come from different albums. So I feel like that's a little bit of like metric.
Well, yeah, you get a
that would make me feel like
Siouxsie greatest
wanting
hits.
to dive into the older stuff.
Get a greatest hits album, and you're set with Siouxsie and the Banshees.
A greatest, it does seem like they know how to make hits.
Yep.
Although I feel like listening to the rest of this album is very pleasurable. Like it's the same kind of music. There's not. I didn't notice any other hooks other than.
It gets a little samey, but you can make that. I mean, so albums are going to be.
I like
that
the
sometimes.
same though.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't. It doesn't get monotonous for me. I enjoyed it listening to it, and I feel like maybe it's one of those albums that if I would listen to it like a few more times, some of the other ones would come more alive. Maybe it sounds great. I mean, I enjoy her vocals and I like the band sound.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of this single? This Kiss Them For Me?
Yeah, Kiss Them For Me is a real solid one. It deserved to be a hit. It's like they knew it. They put it as track 1. It was their first single. They knew they had a hit on their hands. And it became a hit.
I wish I knew more about music production, because like I feel like the real hook is that.
Oh, and not the.
And like, what is that?
Right, yeah.
So there's like 2 hooks happening at once. There's that, and then there's.
Yeah.
I won't be too late. And then there's the. But they happen at the same time, but they're both hooky, which is cool. And I don't know what those instruments are, but they sound sort of vaguely medieval or something.
I don't know what they are either. It's almost like, are they real instruments? I don't know. Or was it produced?
It has a sort of exotic quality to it. It doesn't feel gothic to me at all.
No, yeah, they kind of were, you know, I think they started out as goth the same way The Cure was goth, and then they still, like, they changed. I mean, The Cure wrote a song called Love Cats, and with Robert Smith going, yeah, it's like, that is not goth, okay? But it would still...
goth in the sense that they, like, preferred to wear black.
Yeah, and they had their
like
hair.
To sing about
their hair
really
wasn't
powerful emotions.
clean. Both of their hairs look dirty. So
I do feel like it's interesting to see Robert Smith, as he ages, continue with the white face paint and the crazy hair with hairspray. It's like, okay, we're just doing this the whole time.
Yeah, it's like, it's almost like, this is my character, this is the Cure character, I will put it on for you.
It's the same with Kiss, right?
Yep. Although they got rid of theirs, you know, they did try it without the makeup once. They were
once. One album, right? That didn't sell enough, and they were like, sorry, just kidding.
We're back.
We're
so yeah,
face to face. Our alter
face.
egos. We're not real people. That's interesting, right? Is there another band that says like alter egos?
I mean, Gorillaz.
Yeah. And that they also had a different medium that were their alter egos.
That's right. It's like
animation.
Because I was like, I called up Damon Albarn and I was like, man, I loved it. It was Gorillaz, and he's like, what are you talking about? I'm not involved with that. That's not me. That's Noodles.
I feel like the Gorillaz idea came out of a very bong-filled smoke room.
Yeah, right.
It's like, what if we're just cartoons that tour?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, people have fun with it. I think if the art wasn't actually up to snuff, it would have totally been embarrassing, but somehow the animation was cool enough to sell it. It
made
was
it
pretty
work.
wild. It was a strange phenomenon, but anyway.
Still going on. They came out with an album like maybe 2 years ago. Gorillaz did.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
It was Blur.
Everybody's really paying attention to that.
That's right.
Might be great. Haven't listened to it. Sorry.
I think it was, I think he did like a solo album, then he did a Gorillaz album, then he did a Blur album, and it was just kind of like, I guess he's just in a creative period right now. So
yeah, more power to him.
Yep.
I mean, you get to do whatever the hell you want nowadays anyway. Like if they're rich enough, like it's not that hard to release a Blur album.
Well, I always said, I remember reading about that.
It's not like you have to press the CDs.
Well, right. But it was funny because I read an article where Damon Albarn was like, he wrote the songs and he's like, well, I had these batch of songs and I said, these feel like Blur songs. So he called up the guys and was like, you want to record them? And it's kind of like, but you're the right, like, what makes that song feel like a Blur song as opposed to a Gorillaz song or a solo album song?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a problem whenever you have somebody creatively that feels like they should be more in charge or are more in charge, and they're kind of ducking the air out of the room because they think it's like Damon Albarn and his friends equals Blur, is what it sounds like.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But back when they were first starting, they had more equal-ish power.
Yeah, and maybe
happier.
I mean, he probably still. I would hope that when he gets the Blur guys together, that they all put input. They're like, "Well, I like what you did here, but can I do this?" And Damon Albarn's probably like, "Yeah, do it. It's cool. It's good."
I like, okay, so the theoretical person that's still listening to this is like, will you guys please stop talking about Siouxsie and the Banshees?
That's right. I guess we can rate this album if you want.
Well, I mean, we were obviously talking exclusively about Siouxsie and the Banshees for the past 30 minutes. No,
correct.
I think I would say it's a good album. It has, you said, it's got 2 remixes you can skip, but the ones ones that stick out to you, I think I would say get better with re-listens. I like the albums.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. How many stars?
I wouldn't say you gotta go get the LP of it when it's re-released.
No,
it's already go for that greatest hits, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 3. Also, it's pretty good. You should listen to it, but you don't need to run out and get it right now.
Sure.
So
I mean, I feel limited by this scale we have. Maybe we should do like 1 to 40 stars.
Nope. So
what about 1 to 400?
Okay. Oh, that sounds better. Yep. All right. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about The Rocketeer from director Joe Johnston.
It was the fulfillment of a dream. To others, it was an instrument of destruction. A creation that could change the course of history. It was stolen from my factory. Where's the package? It's the FBI! What do we tell the president? Tell me exactly what his merchandise all going to the feds. It's a rocket. A rocket? Ow! What? What's the matter? I don't know. It's something under the seat. Oh, my. What do you got here? You suppose there's a bomb or something? I would touch that if I were... Like a hood ornament. Stand clear. What was that? Hey, go for it. Are you trying to kill yourself? I like it. Uh-oh, we got company.
All right, they have company. It's the Mafia. Let's welcome you back to my so-called podcast. That was the, I want to say, really visual trailer for The Rocketeer, which we're going to talk about in the second part. But I was really conscious of how much it was just some sort of generic non-James Horner score and a lot of visuals.
Yeah.
They're really proud of the visuals. They didn't have trailer voice guy talking a whole lot.
No.
But what you saw was a flyboy pilot who finds
we can get to that
jetpack.
on when we talk
Bruce
about
Campbell.
It's not Bruce Campbell.
Billy Campbell.
Billy Campbell.
Is that right, Billy?
I think that is right. Yeah.
Billy in this case, but Bill later maybe.
Yeah, Billy.
Is he still Billy?
He's still credited as Billy Campbell as Clifford.
Oh, but he's
Secord.
credited in this movie as Bill Campbell. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I actually want to get into Bill Campbell a little bit later, but that's not what we're doing quite yet, Gary. That's not how this podcast works, right?
That's
That
right.
was the trailer. Welcome back. We talked extensively about Siouxsie and the Banshees and exclusively about their album.
That's right.
Superstition.
Exactly.
Now we're here to talk about The Rocketeer and nothing else. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what those top 10 movies were at the box office, that weekend, right,
Yep.
Gary?
Yeah, you
Don't
have
do
that
that.
list, right, Eric?
Yeah, I've got it. I'm going to go all the way back to 14 because I think it's fun.
Boo.
It's fun.
It's fun.
So still in theaters, this is June 21st, mind you. Kindergarten Cop, which I think was a Christmas movie.
Maybe. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, it's not a Tuma.
Not a Thomas sandwich. Number 13, The Silence of the Lambs, which was definitely 6 months old.
Yeah.
Hanging in there. Go Orion Pictures, the only showing in the top 14. Number 12, Home Alone, which was definitely a Christmas movie.
Yep.
Here, still in the top 10. This is what I'm talking about, people. The fallow period of January through April is real.
People
You
were still
have the
going to see
Christmas-
Home Alone.
You have the Christmas blockbusters in the top 14 still. It's just really odd. But that's the way they used to do it. They didn't think they could make money in certain times of the year because I think they thought they were making a lot of money off of kids being off school or something, but that didn't turn out to be true forever anyway. Number 11, Only the Lonely, a dramedy starring John Candy that I've never seen.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. It's also got who's his wife is famous. Is it or not his
Ali
wife?
Sheedy, maybe?
No,
His mom?
His mom is that's what I meant. His mom is she's Maureen O'Hara, I think.
Yep, you're right.
Yep.
As
Yes.
Rose Muldoon, and his name is Danny Muldoon. That's Only the Lonely. Obviously, number 10 is Thelma and Louise, which I think came out like maybe April or May, kind of early, so I didn't think it would be a blockbuster. But here it is hanging around for 5 weeks. MGM showing in the top 10. Number 9, Soap Dish, a movie I always kind of wanted to see.
Oh, it's okay.
Making almost as much money at this point as Thelma and Louise, but a movie nobody ever thinks about.
Yeah.
Number 8, Don't Tell Mom, The Babysitter's Dead, starring Gary.
Christina Applegate.
Right. So this was, I think, her big shot at the big time, trying to parlay the fame of Married with Children into a movie career. And I think maybe try a little less of a teenage hot older sister if you really want to stretch, would be my advice. But
right.
I mean, it's surprising she didn't get another chance, but she did get a TG, whatever, must-see TV Thursday sitcom for a while.
That's right. Jessie.
Number 7, What About Bob?
What about Bob? I'm sailing.
Making twice the amount of money that Thelma and Louise did during its run. It's been out for 6 weeks. A big hit. I think Frank Oz almost lost his mind trying to make that movie.
Right. I think,
Number 6, Jungle Fever. This is Spike Lee's follow-up to Do the Right Thing, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yep.
Annabella Sciorra, Samuel Jackson, Wesley Snipes et al., which started a very complicated relationship between Mr. Lee and myself, where I cannot deny the power of his filmmaking, but I cannot get behind the entire movie always. Just as a movie. I mean, like, even up to, like, something like the, what's it called? 25th Hour, which has some really powerful sequences, but I don't know what that movie is, per se.
Right.
But yeah, he's so talented. And I always kind of like Jungle Fever for what it is. It's a very interesting movie. Backdraft was still out. I think that was a March release. So yeah, 5 weeks later. That's also a big hit, making about $50 million.
Yeah, you check that door for heat.
Hey, I'm Robert De Niro. I'm going to talk about fire like it's alive.
That's right.
Are you listening to me? Fire is all over the place.
Billy
alive.
Baldwin.
Right. Hey, Billy Baldwin, talking to me? You listening about fire?
I don't see any other fire here. You must be listening about fire.
I don't see another backdraft here. Watch yourself. Anyway, The Rocketeer is number 4. It's opening in 4th place in its first weekend, making almost $10 million, but not quite. But what made $10 million was Dying Young, debuting in the top 10 also, making about the same amount, but a little bit more for 20th Century Fox. Number 2 is a holdover for 3 weeks, City Slickers, adding another 11 million to its tally of 47 million. But number 1 for the second week in a row is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, making almost twice as much as number 2 with $20 million. And that's its second week at number 1. The Rocketeer trying to get out there and be the big superhero movie of the summer. Turns out it's Robin Hood, not The Rocketeer, Gary.
Yeah. Robin Hood was the superhero movie. So, Eric, back in 1990...
He could shoot an arrow through an arrow, Gary.
That's right. So, back in 1991, Janet Maslin of the New York Times said that... where did it go? I had it here.
It's okay, I can vamp. I like when there used to be critics like Janet Maslin, Ebert, Siskel that could kind of argue over whether or not something was culturally relevant.
Right.
But now it's just a conflagration of positive or negative as a binary, nonsensical way to judge popular culture. Oh, are you back?
I got it. Yep. So Janet, it was great. Janet Maslin, I wanted to let you keep going though. I said, so Janet Maslin of the New York Times said it was a benign adventure saga that has attractive stars, elaborate gimmicks, and nice production values. Everything it needs except a personality of its own. Either old Jan had it right or she did not.
I'm going to say that I disagree with Janet Maslin because, I know, apocryphal.
Yes.
Only because I think that she is dead on balls accurate to quote Marissa Tomei from the early 90s.
Yes.
About
Her
it having
biological
such
clock.
honestly delightful production values.
It
We're
really
talking
is, yeah.
sets here, Gary.
Yes.
We're talking outdoor sets.
Yep.
We're talking extras and stands. We're talking like the natural era costumes.
Are you saying though that they don't have attractive movie stars? I mean, it has.
They also have
everybody.
attractive movie stars, but
Terry
what she's saying
O'Quinn?
is they are missing. No. They are missing on a personality of its own. But I think that she's right about that. But it's also missing a compelling, maybe third act and maybe second even act, because I feel like the idea of the suit and the James Horner music and a pilot finding this and fighting Nazis, like I'm in on the pitch stage of the Rocketeer big time. But I feel like the movie we get is sort of toothless, and I feel like it's actually missing more than a personality. It's also missing like kind of a point, and it's squandering something kind of interesting in its concept, in my opinion. But it's not bad, and the production values are actually great to look at, as are the actors.
Right. I mean, yeah, when you can go ahead and put Margot Martindale in just a diner role, it's like, come on, movie. You're just wasting.
Well, what I think is that, I mean, I'm so happy this movie existed to employ at this moment Alan Arkin, who I adore, Paul Sorvino, the greatest, Terry O'Quinn from Lost, who I love, questionably making Howard Hughes, in my mind, as a 13-year-old, as like a cool hero type. Not so in real life, guys.
Not so, yes.
But Ed Lauder, the FBI guy, and his buddy James Handy. I don't know James Handy, but Ed Lauder's in everything.
Yeah, Ed Lauder.
Right?
Yep.
And then you got any other that you spotted?
Yeah, William Sanderson was just at the
William
counter.
Sanderson, exactly.
Which I just
and
watched.
Joe
him.
Polito from The Man Who Wasn't There.
Oh, yep.
Is it's all part of the show.
No, it's not. Man isn't that. Joe Polito is from Hudsucker Proxy.
He's also from Miller's Crossing. Always put one on the brain.
That's right.
He's great.
Get me Musburger.
So the Hudsuckers, not to tell tales out of school, but if you listen to The Man Who Wasn't There,
he jump out of a window also? Go on.
The Coen brothers actually did a commentary for The Man Who Wasn't There, and they don't do that very often.
No, and they do not.
And they were just talking about John Polito because they're like, he is the greatest of all time, and he totally knows it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, we haven't even mentioned his best performance is probably in Miller's Crossing.
Right.
You giving me the hi-hat?
You giving me the hi-hat? But he also says always put one in the brain, right?
That's right. You're right. You did mention that. That's right.
Margot Martindale, I know, right? My goodness. Clint Howard is in the film. We've got... did you notice when they first are at the fancy bar, Copacabana or whatever in Los Angeles, who's the singing girl that comes out and starts singing about the South Seas? I did not notice that. I was like, I know her, but I don't know her from 1991 because she's like Jan on The Office, and then she was in Transparent.
Oh, really? I didn't even
Laura
catch that.
Hardin.
Yeah.
She was the girl that's singing at the beginning when the clamshell opens and stuff.
Okay.
Timothy Dalton is taking her out. Okay, so let's start with the goods. Like, what do we like about this movie? I think that's more fun. Yeah,
so you're right. I mean, in the production design, it's, for whatever reason, well, I mean, I guess the reason is because planes were early. It's set in 1932, and you got these, just this, the whole 32-ness of it all is good.
Right. And you know, it's that post 80s boomer nostalgia for like their Dad's era. So it's like the Beeman's gum and the Fly Guys, and but it's also, I think, kids that are boomer age grew up reading comic books about stuff like this. So Joe Johnston, I always think of as like a next gen Joe Dante, maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, he started with the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which is a banger. I don't know if you've seen it recently, but it's really good.
No, not recently, but yeah, I'm sure it is good.
It's a wonderful children's film.
And this was his second movie, though, Rocketeer.
This was his second movie, The Rocketeer. So I don't know if I want to blame the screenwriter or him or what, but it just isn't enough of anything, it seems.
I mean,
like
I think
to
you
me,
got to
like...
give Joe Johnston, when you say started on Honey, I Shrunk, that's not true. He started on Star Wars, working in the special effects.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the
Sort of
man
like,
that
whenever
created Boba Fett.
Oh, okay. I
Joe
was going to say it's sort of like whenever what's his name made Pumpkinhead, Stan Winston.
Oh, yeah.
So he's jumping from visual effects to director from early 80s to late 80s, I guess.
Right.
You said he created Boba Fett?
He drew the design for Boba Fett.
Battlestar Galactica as well. Anyway, since The Rocketeer, it hasn't been like great for Joe Johnston either, until he, I want to say, made actually a better movie of a very similar stripe in the Captain America movie, which is almost like his do-over of The Rocketeer in a lot of ways.
It's almost like Marvel was, the Disney product, and they're like, well, we want to make this movie, and Disney was like, oh, we got the director for you. We know who it is.
The interview for me would be like, what did you do wrong in that movie? And what is that movie missing looking back on it? And if he could actually tell me, I would hire him.
Right.
Because he was early in his... so there's a scene in the movie. So first of all, bravo for casting Timothy Dalton post-Bond as the, villain... movie star, narcissist up his own butt, a swordsman that wears a wig. That's also fun, right? It's fun.
He's great.
That's good, fun stuff. And he's chewing the scenery and having a great time. But also, there's a part where they have sets where they're filming the movie, which is 1932's movie. Yeah. And they fall over. So you see there's a behind the set. And then a part of the set of the movie we're watching is the behind the set part of the set. Yep. And they have these used, like, coffee cups that would come out of a machine, or, like, cup of noodles that are, like, up on the 2x4s that make up the set, because nobody cares what's behind the set. So it's like these little... making it exactly 1932 at a movie. It's like there's an attention to detail in the costumes and art direction, and really just feeling like it would be just so magical to be going to work in 1990 and to go to these sets, I would think, with everybody in these costumes and everything. It would be none of it is CGI, so it's really like neat, I don't know, to see. Especially since they're recreating an old era in an old era to us now.
Well, and I wonder if maybe and that's the thing. Like, even though this is called The Rocketeer, there's not a lot of The Rocketeer, and maybe that's what the movie is missing is. But it could be one of the reasons.
We got to get to The Rocketeer a little earlier, I think. Right?
Well, right. I think we have. Maybe the special effects is one of the reasons why they were like, well, it looks okay, but it doesn't look great. And maybe maybe it was written around a time of like, well, we just can't make that look as good as we want. So maybe if it wasn't CGI now, it'd be like Spider-Man from 2001. It was like, oh yeah, we can make Spider-Man.
Yeah. I think sometimes people do forget that CGI made certain things possible, like in the realism world, that weren't weren't available, but it's also sort of made things a little more bland over the
Oh
years.
yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, so I think, yes, I agree with you. I think that the problem with the special effects of the Rocketeer, whether he's inside or outside, inside Rocketeer is a totally different special effect, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
And outside Rocketeer is an interesting special effect that reminds me of, I don't know, like those Star Wars movies that Joe Johnston worked on, where
Yep.
they're like kind of a little bit different color than the rest of the
Yeah,
screen.
exactly. Yeah.
It's like they're a little foggy or something. But I was able to, I want to say that, so there's a scene where the Rocketeer gets introduced, which I feel like I give credit and a half to the first act of this movie. Okay. It starts off like gangbusters. We're like the thrill of being a pilot, right? I'm going to just being a pilot in 1932. It's crazy. It's
Right.
something only crazy people do. And I feel like they oversell it almost.
Well, right.
Like flying an airplane seems really awesome.
Well, and then you also get the gunfight, and it's like we get the planting of the rocket real quick. But yeah, there's probably a little bit
he
too
is
much.
a test pilot that gets shot out of the sky. He has a friend named Peavy, and he has got the jetpack.
Yep.
And they switch it for the vacuum, and
Yeah.
you get it. They tell it just with what happens. You don't even need anybody to tell you what happened. And then he finds it. They figure out what it is. They test it. That's fun.
Yeah.
They have to go real far out and put it on a mannequin, put with a chain with a stake in the
Yeah,
ground.
they put
It's
it on-
great. I love it.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And then I just don't. After that, I mean,
Well,
like, okay,
then
no.
we-
After that is that the best set piece in the movie is when his friend is worried that he's not going to come, so he tries to fly as the clown for him.
Yeah, yeah.
But essentially his friend is in danger, and he has the choice of strapping on the jetpack or not to try to save him, which is exactly the thing that would make you do it, right?
Yep.
So that's well written. And so then he saves his friend in front of a crowd because it's an air show. And that's all very exciting. And then I would say maybe after he lands there,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
becomes
know if
a
I
whole...
like anything else in the movie except for maybe Jennifer Connelly or Nazis getting thrown out of windows, which is satisfying.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because so the thing is, there's a lot of the setup because, like, yeah, so Jennifer Connelly and Billy Campbell have to go to the movie to kind of watch a movie about, like, oh, the Germans are flying a blimp into. Then we have to also have a scene where, yeah, the FBI guys are talking to. Howard Hughes to say, okay, that's where the rocket came from, and then we also had a scene where,
Well, yes, it's like they're trying to overdo not telling us much up until this point.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
you know how those two groups of guys with hats, like these are the feds and these are the bads, and like it's spoon feeding us that in a way that's totally unnecessary at that point, right?
yeah,
And what is the story with him and her? Like, they have a little spat over something kind of minor,
yeah,
and then they get back together and they realize how much they love each other because they're young and beautiful and heroic. Like, that is not a story. Like, give us something else, girl. That's what I'm saying in this, you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
She does bonk Timothy Dalton on the head with a vase and knock him out, which seemed really easy to do. Like, he must
Yeah.
have a soft skull.
He does. That's why he couldn't only be in 3 Bond movies. So,
Wait, was it 3? I thought it was 2.
he was in The Living
The
Daylights,
Living Daylights,
License
License to Kill.
and maybe it was only 2.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yeah,
starring
exactly.
Timothy Dalton? No, because I think the next one after that was Golden.
GoldenEye? Okay.
I might be wrong.
I thought it was a 3rd one, but maybe not.
I mean, I bet he wished there was.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
But he's having fun here.
Yep.
I think that Timothy Dalton is having a good time, and sometimes that's a little contagious. and sometimes for me it was a little irritating because it would have been a nice little, I don't know, garnish to an actual movie with an actual story. Whereas with this, it's just like it almost it's like writing on its charm.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to write on how cute she is and how floppy his hair is.
Right. It's like, yeah, it has the production value. It's like, well, we don't need the story. Everyone's gonna be cool about everyone's gonna be impressed with how well it looks and everything like that. And
it looks so good.
Right.
I mean, it's really great. It's very fun as far as like the period stuff, the Copacabana and the, the area around. They have a few locations of Los Angeles from the period that they sort of focus on, for budgetary reasons. Obviously, they don't go like driving through Los Angeles 1932 or anything, but I think it's enjoyable, right?
Yeah, Leonard Moulton said the film captures the look of the 30s and the innocence of the Saturday matinees, but it's talky and it takes too much time to get where it's going. I agree with you, Leonard Moulton.
Yeah, and where it's going
Gremlins
is not so
2,
great,
Leonard
right?
Moulton.
Like, where it's going is not so memorable either.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a fine conclusion of, Howard Hughes, so he has to give it back the thing, but
You're right, the coda is
yeah.
kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're trying to trick us into thinking we watched a better movie by that coda.
Right, yeah. So
It's kind of like the James Horner score, which, like I've mentioned, is one of the greatest of all time. I think that
this particular James Horner score, or
Yeah.
just James Horner is one of the greatest of all time?
the Rocketeer score,
yeah.
the Rocketeer suite from the middle of this movie, the stuff that plays over when he saves the clown, that whole portion of the movie is scored like for 10 minutes long, and it's great. It's just so great. But and that part of the movie, which is a pretty good part of the movie, doesn't even live up to the, I don't think.
Yeah.
The score.
Yeah.
The score is so soaring and like proud, and I just don't really feel like I really know this pilot
Right, yeah.
fellow.
Right. Yeah, I think we
I
probably
don't know
needed
if
to
it's
spend
Billy
a little more
Campbell's
time.
fault,
Yeah.
but like, I don't think he has a personality, and Jennifer Connelly is actually sort of trying to put on a fairly good performance to create a personality out of nothing, which I don't think she's given a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Arkin is having a great time.
Yeah, he's
perfectly cast.
He's great. Yeah, always great.
Yeah, it's a Midas touch. All the scenes with him are great. I'm not going to get rid of any of them. So it's not the actors' faults. They're great.
Yeah, well, it just doesn't come together as a whole,
It might be Billy Campbell's fault.
It might be Billy Campbell's fault. So.
I do not think he's a compelling leading man in this. He looks like one.
Right, yeah, he has a look, but...
It's like, but there's not a... Like, I feel like this movie lacks danger. Right? Like, do you ever feel like anyone is going to be hurt or killed by lots of bullets? And I guess one guy gets folded in half in like the very George Romero Creepshow scene where they find John Polito, speaking of which.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And it's like they don't have the guts to show us anything that would think that he's
it's a
folded in half,
PG.
except for like his foot is by his head.
Right.
Okay, so yeah. So what is that thing called? The tall thing.
Oh,
Fitch?
Tiny.
No. What was he?
You're right. They probably leaned on him a little too much. Lothar. Yep.
So what do you think about the makeup on that?
Yeah, he did not look... It was a little grotesque. And
the makeup and the part where he talks, and it's like an Italian horror movie for a second. It's very obvious that it's ADR'd afterwards, but it still sucks ass.
Yeah.
It's why is there one guy with a mask? Like Dick Tracy from the year before, it's like they had a lot of guys in masks, so it's a mask movie. But there's this one guy in a mask in this movie. What's going on?
Yeah. I mean, I think it just, I guess, I mean, you have a fantasy with the rocket pack, and maybe they were just like, yeah, let's make this guy a big bruiser. And he was probably drawn like, because this was a comic book, maybe that character was actually drawn like that.
Yeah, like Jessica Rabbit.
Yep.
She's not bad.
She's just drawn that way. That's right.
Oh, yeah, drawn that way. That's better.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Drawn like that.
Oh, no.
Drawn that way, yeah. But anyway, yeah. I feel like I like the idea of this movie way more than I like the movie.
Yeah.
And especially, like, knowing the score and this awesome poster. It's like, and honestly, I want to say, some of the performances are great. I feel like Paul Sorvino seems to be sleepwalking, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it's another gangster.
He's like,
I can do it.
Yeah, I know. But he's like supposed to have an ulcer or whatever, so he can like wobble around. But Alan Arkin's having a good time. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
and all the other character actors are just fun. Yeah. I mean, let's not investigate this portrayal of
Howard Hughes.
He was like a total bastard.
Yes, he was a bad guy. But
Terry O'Quinn I wish that Terry O'Quinn with a sharp mustache was the real
That's
Howard
right.
Hughes.
Yes. Well, okay. I think we covered Rocketeer. We can rate it. I am going to give it 2.5 stars. I still think it's a fine movie. It's good. I wasn't like, oh, I hate watching this. So that means it was enjoyable. It's quick. It flies by. Pun intended. Flies by.
It flies by until it gets through the clothes that are hanging on the line outside and get a sheet on your face.
That's right.
And then it's hard to fly.
That's right.
That first time because you got a sheet on you.
Yeah, I'm sick of this.
No way I could possibly remove this sheet. I'm the Rocketeer.
Eric.
I don't know why he has such a hard time landing at that point. Like, maybe go up and turn the engine off over a lake and just land in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
think they wanted the joke for him to skip across the water like a stone.
I do think landing would be part of the issue, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you could shoot yourself into space. You got to get down somehow.
That's right.
Gary, I also give it 2.5 stars, but it carries a heavy disappointment. Like, I wished it could have been so much more.
Yeah. Well, all right.
I do like the aesthetic a lot.
Yeah, it's a fine movie. Give it a watch.
You can watch Jan from The Office.
That's right.
Being like 20 and singing in the Copacabana.
That's right.
You can watch Paul Sorvino and John Polito in the same movie wearing almost the exact same costume.
Finally, yeah.
As very similar characters.
Exactly.
And they're like, no, this guy just is sort of a sketchy business owner, but this guy is a literal organized crime guy who's a good guy because he's an American.
That's how it ends up being, yeah. Well, thank you for listening.
2.5 stars. Sounds good. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to another episode of My So-Called Podcast. We will be back. Bye.
We will. Bye.